On this week's episode, we fly a drone around the Chernobyl exclusion zone.
3, 2, 1.
I'm Taylor Jackson. I travel and I take pictures. It's always been my dream to have a travel show, so one day I just woke up and did it. It's 7 a.m. I'm in Kiev. Igor's picking me up in about 20 minutes and we're going to drive out to the exclusion zone. I'm bringing the drone. I don't know if I'm allowed to bring the drone. I thought that it was easier to just kind of ask on the day and just bring it and hope that it works out. We'll see. It still doesn't fully function. Does the little camera thing. Gonna have to get that looked at. I also just want to mention that this is the cleanest I've ever kept a hotel room in my entire life. Also, yesterday when my driver dropped me off here, he told me to not go outside until the next morning. I guess there was a march that a fake bomb went off at, and yeah, that was just outside my hotel. So let's go drive to a place that's safer than my hotel, and that place is Chernobyl. After just leaving Kiev, we came across an eerie smoke that seemed to be everywhere. Igor told me that this was because the soil was on fire underground. Apparently the peat ignites underground whenever not enough rain has fallen. That's weird, right? So we are at the 10K zone checkpoint here in Chernobyl. We just drove around a little bit of Chernobyl town and saw all the abandoned houses. Some of the people came back to reclaim their houses a few years after the disaster, but for the most part, everything is abandoned. Imagine waking up in the early morning and being told that you had to evacuate your home, likely never to return. That life as you know it just doesn't exist anymore. In April 1986, that's what so many regular families had to face. When the reactor melted down and released radiation into the sky, the wind took most of it north over Belarus and the rest of Europe. Driving on the road here actually shows much lower radiation readings than almost any other city in the world. The only place that it gets high is where lots of rainwater has fallen over time.
And water wash down radioactive dust and concentrate it here.
From here we headed to the reactor that melted down, Reactor 4. As strange as it might seem, the Chernobyl nuclear plant actually continued to operate the other reactors and generate power until the year 2000, 14 years after the meltdown of Reactor 4. As a photographer, everything here is so visually interesting, but you just don't feel right taking pictures of it. Nature is reclaiming most of this area now, and since there are so few people around, wildlife have actually started taking over some of the buildings for shelter. The reason that most people come here is to see the amusement park and the Ferris wheel. It never officially opened. From here you can see the new sarcophagus they'll be putting over Reactor 4. The original sarcophagus was created in a rush after the meltdown to contain the radiation. It's amazing that it took so many people to build everything here, and the errors of just a few humans caused the meltdown and the abandonment of the entire area.
He's my only hope.
After that, Igor took us to the Russian woodpecker. Its main use was to detect the launch of missiles anywhere around the world. When it was put online, radio and TV broadcasts around the world started hearing a low tapping noise around 10 hertz. It was rumored to be a mind control experiment by the Soviet Union. You can climb it all the way to the top if you want, but I did not desire that. You have to go through 2 radiation detectors before they clear you to be part of the regular world again. Then we shot some AKs for some reason. I think it was important for me to go to Chernobyl. It's one thing to watch a documentary about it, but it is entirely different to experience it. It's a raw and unrefined tour. There is no gift shop at the exit, only a handshake and a nod. You will leave feeling like you've learned something that will stay with you for the rest of your life. And that's why I travel, for experiences, for knowledge, and to bring something home other than a gift from duty free. Alright, I had a shower, so the gunpowder got off of me. Probably wasn't the smartest idea to go to a gun range before heading on a flight from Ukraine to Israel. But I'm headed to the airport, so I'll see you in Tel Aviv. On next week's episode, we travel to Israel, where we visit Jerusalem, eat some lamb in Bethlehem, and find out what it's actually like to live in Palestine.